If you studied social work outside the UK and you want to practice in the UK, this video is for you. It means that if you qualify from University of Benin, University of Ibadan, University of Ilorin, oh my goodness, then you can register with Social Work England. However, if you did not study in any of these units, they have said all this information that we have discussed so far, you will do them. Hello, so today we'll be talking about how you can register to practice as a social worker in the UK. So if you studied social work outside the UK and you want to practice in the UK, this video is for you. In today's video, I'll be discussing how you can register to practice here in the UK. But for you to desire to practice as a social worker in the UK, you need to choose which of the countries in the UK, because UK is United Kingdom. So because there are different countries, so we have the Ireland, we have Scotland, we have Wales, we have England. So which of the countries are you looking at for? So in this video, we'll be discussing one of them. I'm going to be running a series on this. So in today's video, we'll be talking about how you can register in England. So disclaimer, this video is purely on research, and whatever I'm going to be saying here is directly from the governing body's website. This is just to create awareness, education to people who are looking forward to explore this opportunity. So if you have qualified outside, whether in Africa or in wherever, so many countries, we have the Asia, even the EU, European Union. So if you qualified outside, you want to come here and practice, so this video is for you. So we'll be talking about this step by step. So don't be in a hurry, don't skip anything, and flow with me. Let's dive in. So as you know, to practice as a social worker, you need to have a degree on it. First of all is to qualify on it. So if you have graduated and you are looking forward to registering and practicing, this is the step. So we'll be talking about in this video the various documents that you are going to be putting together, because the information is really broad and big. So let's take it step at a time, one step at a time, in order not to confuse any of us, or maybe it's become too much information. Let's take it a step at a time. So ride with me. So they said this guidance is for people who qualified outside the UK who would like to apply to join Social Work England register. So like you know, if you qualify as a social worker outside the UK, you cannot practice if you have not registered with the body. So this is more to tell you that the guidance is for people who qualified outside the UK. That means you've gotten your BA or MA, BSc, with a master's or first degree level. This is a guidance for you. So first thing first, anyone who wants to practice as a social worker here in England must register with Social Work England. So this is to say that even if you qualified, you have a degree, but even if you have a degree, you need to still do this to progress. Even if you qualified, you cannot still practice, because no employer is going to take you without being registered to the professional body. The amazing thing that you can register while you're in your country, like you don't need to come in and start registering and all of that. So you can do all that while you're in country. So what they've said in their website is that you have to register while you are in your home country, and when you have registered, you can now start applying for jobs. So that's simple. Now, what are the things you would do? So like I said earlier, we'll be looking at it step by step. Today's video will be on pre-application checklist. What are the documents you would need? What are the various documents you would need for the application? Instead of, oh yeah, I want to apply, and you jump into it, and halfway through it, you're confused. What next? Oh, I didn't see this. When things like this kind of ideas comes up, you just have to calm down, take a chill pill, and relax, take a step at a time. So what you do is to gather all your documents. What are the documents you would need? What are the various steps you would need? So this video will be on your pre-application checklist, the things you need to put in place before you apply. Number one is you have to create a personal email that you would need to apply with, because there will be a lot of information passing from you to other professionals. That's because during your application process, you will need to be sending message to the governing body, and they will be sending you a message. So you need a personal email account. So if you don't have an email, please create an email. If you have an email that you've used in the past for other things, but because a lot of different kind of messages are coming into it, I think you should solely create a new email address that we have, that you will understand that this is specifically for this. Create a specific email address so that when they send you messages, you can easily see it instead of entering your spam. Because if you have an old email address that you've used for so many days, so many emails will be coming in and you would not know when the proper and right email comes to you. So why not create a new email address for that? Another thing you will need for your checklist is a passport. Do you have a passport? Do you have an international passport? Do you have your citizenship passport? Whichever country you belong to, whichever country you're a citizen of, do you have a passport? So you will need this. This is the second document that you need to have, keep in place before you can apply. Then evidence of knowledge of English. So you need to show that you know and understand English. You need to show that you know English. I think most persons write IELTS. So if you're looking at that, you need to start practicing and go for your IELTS exam. One good thing about IELTS exam is that once you've done it, it stays for 2 years. It doesn't just expire. So if you've written it, 2 years is enough time for you to complete your application process and even get a job. So yeah, IELTS or whichever English exam that is required, because they've not specified that it's IELTS. However, they've said that you need to show knowledge of English. So it's just me suggesting IELTS. So if you know other ways you can prove your English, it's something you explore with them during your application. But to be on the safe side, just have your IELTS, if that makes sense. Another thing that you would need is the evidence of your qualification. So if you've done BA in the past or MA in the past, you need to evidence this, that this is what you've done in the past. I mean, by way of transcripts and also your certificate. So you need to talk to your school, get your transcripts and of course your certificate. This is a way you can also prove that you have qualified. Another thing they want to also see in your checklist is evidence that you are on continual professional development trainings. For the fact that you've qualified, you have a degree or you have your MA, whatever level of education you've attended, they still want to know if you are taking trainings to improve, to develop, and of course, information changes all the time, and even those who qualify here and those who are already practicing, they carry out what is called continual professional development. So this is also something they've also put in the checklist that you will need to provide to show that you're on continual professional development, that you are taking trainings to develop your professional skills. So this is something that they've also requested for in your checklist. So it's just have to be like a training that you've done that is relevant to your course, a training that a workshop that you've gone for that is relevant to your course, something that you've done that is more of improving your skill as a professional in your field. You know, you get what I mean? It's just something academically or workshop or something to show that you are continually improving your skill after graduation. Another thing that you need to have is your school email address. So if you provide, like I said, your transcripts and your certificates, they would want to email them to confirm the genuinity of your documents. So you will need to have handy your university email address. So get an email address from your school, whether from your academic or non-academic, whichever one that is in charge of confirming your degree in your school. You get that email address, get it handy because you will need it. Another thing they have said is that you need to show evidence that you are training and the trainings that you've done that has improved your skills and experiences. If this one is an extra document they have requested for those who have completed their degree 2 years back. So this is to say, if you have completed yours before 2 years, you may not need this particular document, but if you have completed it 2 years, you need to show this. So I mean, if you, like the previous one that I mentioned about professional trainings that you have to do, everybody have to show it, whether you qualified before 2 years or after 2 years, you need to show that. So but if you qualify after 2 years, I think that document will also suffice if you qualified 2 years back and the trainings are really recent. It's to show how you've done training to improve your skills and your experience. Another checklist you would need is, have you worked in social care sector before? Whether voluntary or non-voluntary, whether charity or not charity, whether foundation or no foundation, whether statutory or non-statutory. They would need the information of your employer or your employers ever since you finished and started working in your home country. So they are requesting for that. So this is something you should also pen down. This is one requirement you should pen down. So even if you are still working with any current employer in social work sector, they would also need that information. So in most countries, for you to practice as a social worker, you need to be registered with a professional body. In your home country, do you have a regulatory body in your country? Do you have an organization just like this that regulates your registration? Because you need to register, have your number, have your PIN. Do you have such organization in your home country? So you need to provide the detail of your regulator in the country. Another document that you need to show is conviction penalty, or if there's been a criminal investigation. Yeah. So this is something they would also want to say. So this bit is something that even people who are here have to also do. Yeah. So it's not particularly to just international workers. One other checklist is any health conditions that might affect your ability to practice. You also want to know if there's any medical conditions. So you will also need to document this. So if there's any medical condition, you also need to note that. And I know that there is no segregation discrimination in terms of that. It's just for them to be aware of that and have that documented. They also want to get a documentation about how, if you have been deregistered from any professional body in the past, they would also want to know about that. So if there has been a deregistration with any professional body, you also need to provide that information to them as well. Another information is, because social work deals with children, families, adults, that's children, adults, So if you've been barred for one reason or the other from working with vulnerable people, adults or children, you also need to specify it as well. I mean, I am not a caseworker. I don't work for Socialworker England, but this is something that is in their website. And by the time you provide all of this information during your application, then they will be able to get back to you with the outcome. Another thing you need to provide is course information form. Course information form. This is how it looks like. This is something that you will send to your university that you studied, yeah? And they're going to fill all these things. They're going to fill them up and send it over, and they will send it over to you, yeah. So that's how it looks like. So if this is something that you're willing to do, you have to send this information to your course provider, your uni, yeah, and the course provider, that's your department, is going to fill all that detail and send back to them. So you might be asked to send that information to your university, or you might be asked to send a letter explaining how your education and training, as well as your experience, yeah, meets the professional standards. So is either you do that or you write a letter. So it all depends. However, for the above that I just showed you, they said you only need to provide any of those information if the university you attended is not part of the list of assessed overseas qualifications. That means there are some countries all over the world that it has been recognized by Socialworker England to be like they'll be recognized that once you finish from that school, you can automatically register. Huh? Why did I know about this? Do you know how much I pay for my school fees? What? So guys, example of that, I am a Nigerian, and let me just attach this so that you ride with me. I know how much I pay for school fees. Come on. So what I'm saying here is like, what? Okay. So they say you only need to provide these documents if your course is not on our list of assessed overseas qualification. And let's open it and see. So this is the list of overseas qualification. Which country? These are the recognized country qualification by country. So let us go to, because it's the people who have asked me to create this video, most of them are from Nigeria. So I'll go to Nigeria. Oh my God. So Nigeria is here. Oh, so it is saying that if you studied at the University of Benin, Bachelor of Social Work, full-time, year of qualification 2011, you can automatically register with Socialworker England. University of Ibadan, they have Master of Social Work in Social Welfare, year of qualification 2017. Master of Science, full-time, year of qualification 2016. Master of Social Work in Social Welfare, year of qualification 2015. Master of Social Work, Health Social Work, year of qualification 2015. Master of Social Work, Industrial Social Work. So it means that University of Ibadan has social work different field, and they have been recognized by Socialworker England. University of Ilorin, Bachelor of Social Work, year of qualification 2019. So let me explain something to you. When you qualify as a social worker here in any of the universities in England, your school send the list of students who has passed, the list of students who passed their course to Socialworker England. This is to enable you to register, because if your name is not on the list of people that the uni have sent the information to, you may not be able to register, because that's one of the prerequisites. To see this is a good one, because it means that if you qualify from University of Benin, University of Ibadan, University of Ilorin. Oh my goodness. Then you can register with Social Work England. As you can see, I'm recording it. It means that you can register. Like, you can register. We have other countries here. We have Romanians. These are different countries. South Africa is there. And you know, we also saw Namibia, Malawi, so Kenya. So these are the names of the different countries that the body has recognized that once you have a degree there, that's it. However, if you did not study in any of these units, they have said all this information that we have discussed so far, you will do them, yeah. But if you studied in this school, in these universities they mentioned, it's just saying that it gets easier in terms of documentation. But ideally, you still need to provide English exam, all of those things. It's just that it makes it easier because they're already known to the professional body. So, but I'm so happy that I'm seeing this, you know. I'm so happy that I'm seeing this. It makes a lot of sense. For those whose documents are not written in English language, you will need to translate it to English language. That is one other criteria that you need to also provide. You need to meet. So have that as part of your checklist to translate every document that are not written in English. So when you've gathered your checklist and you apply, how long will that take? So ideally, they've said that if we do not need to request any additional information to support your application, we aim to complete an assessment of your application in 60 working days. The 60 working days do not include Saturday, Sundays, or bank holidays. So I think today's video, we've talked about your checklist that you should get ready, things you should keep ready. And I hope you've gotten a lot from this video. So I'm not going to take a long time discussing this. So these are the list of documents you need to have and keep for this to happen. In my next video, I will be discussing what next. What is the next thing you should do after you've gathered all these documents, after you've done all these things? What is the next thing you're going to do? If you want that second video, let me know in the comment section and I will come back with the answer. So until I see you in my next video, remain intentional, continue to make a difference, and take care of you. Know that yes, you can. Bye.